time. Got a lot going on this morning, but
I figured I'd just record this and see where it goes real fast.
Right.
Maybe get a little discussion going. So did you hear about Amy Schmidhauer's 500th episode?
Nothing in detail. No, I just heard that there was one.
Yeah, she. You know, Savvy Sexy Social, right?
Yeah, I know Amy.
500 episodes. That's incredible. I mean, I've gone to 300 episodes before on podcasts, but podcasting is incredible. I mean, I love watching you and Eric kind of goof around on your podcast, give good information, but kind of campy. I like it. Especially your millennial. You being a millennial I thought was hilarious.
Oh, God.
Oh, that was hilarious, buddy. That was awesome.
That was just proof that I can be talked into anything.
Yeah, but you're a millennial in your own right. You're young at heart.
Yeah, that was the point of our video. It was, we get across, and it's interesting to see, getting some comments on Facebook at different places, from people that obviously did not watch the video, because the only negative comments we'll get is like, I'm tired of people, segregating people into groups just by their age. And, and one of the whole points of the video
there's Mark, because you're a boomer, right?
Right. But that millennial, by millennial, we're talking about a mentality, not necessarily an age group. It starts from that age group, but there are far more people who have what has been defined as the millennial attitude or mindset than just people who came of age around 2000. So.
Oh, absolutely. It came of age because it kind of makes me a millennial. I mean, I'm more of an extrovert with mentality, but I started college in 2000, so I'm not sure if that's coming of age or that's growing up in the year 2000. I was the millennial. I was the millennium graduation class from my high school. I'm not sure if it was cool to have it. I graduated in the year 2000.
Yeah, I guess there's no these things are they're arbitrary labels, and we've got to start from there because
exactly.
It's just drawing a line. There's no definitive line. Somebody's definition. I've read everything. I've read people. Eric went in that video with the definition that comes up on Google's instant answers if you type in millennial, which just says someone who turned 18 around the year 2000. But now I've seen other definitions that give an age range of it, but that's all kind of meaningless at the end of the day, other than the fact that that around that time, around the year 2000, there was a shift for a lot of people, not for everyone, but for a lot of people, to becoming more generally aware, because we were online. We're an online generation.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a business call and have to go.
All right, bye. We'll talk later.
So sorry, man.
No, we'll talk later. All right, next. What's going on now? Thanks. Bye, Mark. Busy man. Who else wants to join? We want to talk about the power of podcasting. I mean, I was sort of a little bit about podcasting with Mark, about how the power of podcasting. Hey, Dave, how's it going, buddy? How you doing? No, we're just talking about podcasting, and I did the Philly Tech Network podcast network with a bunch of podcasts over there, and I just want to talk about the power of podcasting and how it really grows the network and really grows your own personal network. Because of Philly Tech, I'm now the CMO or head of marketing for a new startup in the special needs space, and it's really and I've got other opportunities left and right because of my podcast network and putting me out there. I would love to talk to anyone else about what they're doing in the podcast space. So, hey, Dave, you want to come on in and chat? It's open seat. Give me a moment. Yeah, he has to go find his he wants to go find his headset. We're going to be talking with Dave Vaughn. I am Dave Vaughn, or I am Dave Vaughn. I like that. EntrepreneurGeek.com. He's all over the place. He is a first adopter. Very nice, Dave. Whenever you can hop in. Thanks for the retweet, by the way, bud. Oh, it tweets weird. With Seth Goldstein, it only highlighted Seth, which is the famous Seth Goldstein, not the well-known Seth Goldstein. No, joking. Oh, Dave's finishing something else up. So let me keep on talking while Dave's finishing something up. So with Philly Tech, I decided that Philly needs to be highlighted as a powerhouse of innovation, which it is. It's growing. It's not quite New York or Silicon Valley yet, but it is growing. And I feel that with social media and with innovation and startups like Roar just started as a personal device for protecting you against assaults, mostly for women, but I guess men can use it as well. That's a great thing about Yasmin Mustafa. I see podcasts as a medium, as a vehicle for really talking about your brand, about talking about what you do, who what your brand is about. I was just talking to people. Oh, your connection's better. It keeps cutting out. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for the retweet, but I appreciate it. I don't know. It's spotty at times. I mean, I'm on Wi-Fi, unfortunately. I'm downstairs in the kitchen on my laptop. I should be up in my office on my desktop, which is hardwired, but oh well. If anyone's watching this later and doesn't see the chat roll over here on Blab over here, I think it's over here. It could be over here. I'm not really sure. I am recording this, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, where are you from, buddy? Let's see. Yair has check him out on Twitter. Oh, originally from Mexico. Mexico. I can't do it like Mexicans can do it. Mexico. Oh, Chicago. Woo! The Windy City. I love Chicago. Chicago's a great city. And it's windy. It is really freaking windy. It deserves its name because it's got the lake effect and all that. But I've been there a few times. My family, part of my family's from Chicago and whatnot. So, but back to the podcast with Blab now and Hangouts and Skype makes it almost like the democratization of podcasting. Anyone can do a show like this. They have a webcam in the front in their cameras, and it really makes it so that you can really get your message across. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to work. I'm currently doing a podcast with a nutritionist in Philadelphia called, her name is Brittany Kennedy of onpoint-nutrition.com. Great nutritionist. She does great work. We're doing a podcast called Nutrition Philly, and where I think we're on our third episode now, coming up I think next week. And I just produced the show. I just sit there and watch the show. I switch it on Hangouts. And that's a year works in radio, so I work with this podcast often. Hey, Dave. Dave's coming in right now. Hey, Dave, welcome, buddy.
Hey. Good morning.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
It's going well.
Long time no actual finally meet in person. Yeah. Dave and I are fellow geek lifers, geek beaters, It doesn't sound good. Geek beaters, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, that's okay. Things will come out of my mouth that don't sound right all the time. So.
Oh, great. So I'm supposed to tag on this now. Oh, so I was talking about podcasting and then the power of the podcast.
Yeah.
Because, like a lot of opportunities have come to me from my podcast network. It's not Twit. It was never meant to be Twit. It was never meant to be Geeks Life. It was meant to say, let me put something out. I did A2SM for a while. I did the social media for 300 episodes. Amy Schmidhauer, 760 Social, she put out her 500th episode on YouTube. 500 episodes.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know how many episodes. I mean, I think actually I might have gotten close to 500, but the social media was weekly for 3 years, and we didn't miss a week. So
I got picked up by a YouTube network, which I've had opportunities before, and I've avoided them. The network, and it was actually all the result of a Blab that I did.
Oh, really?
And then took the Blab and just put it up on YouTube.
Right.
And put a thumbnail to it. Absolutely. And I got and all these different videos that I've got all over the place doing all these different things. And it was this one particular impromptu Blab that I did.
Give you some props for that. Yeah.
Thanks. So
I've never seen Mark.
There's huge power in social media. And I've heard the same thing with podcasting. Robert Stern, who's a big on Blab and big in other places. Unfortunately, I've never heard of it before.
On Blab and how you get the Hollywood Square look. It's different. I liked it. I'm still very big. I'm still very big on Hangouts. Hangouts on air. I post them out the public so people can watch it live. No one ever does. I mainly do it so I can get a copy of it. I do like that Blab sends you a copy of the audio and the video. I love that.
Yeah, and you can even repurpose that since you get the audio. You could repurpose those into podcasts as well. Mm-hmm. As long as you follow some of the criteria.
No one's looking at our funny faces. I mean, Mark's gorgeous, but other than that, in his boomer way, exactly. But so what have you been up to besides that Blab that went viral?
Trying to get a couple of different sites updated, including Entrepreneur's Geek, which has just been a sandbox horrible site. In fact, I'm that's on my task today. But
it's one of those things that like you have to try and get, but
yeah, it's I will come up with I will go wash dishes, I will cut the grass, I will sit there and just do about anything. I have no idea why it is I have such a difficult time putting my own stuff up on my own site. I can do anybody else's site in a heartbeat, but I guess that's because
my thing is I have a lot of brands going at the same time, a bunch of companies I work for and I'm part of. Yeah, and it's tough. It's tough to kind of say, all right, I have to sit down and do this. I mean, I started taking a lot of photos and whatnot, so I've been doing a lot of going out and taking photography. So if anyone's interested in buying some stock images royalty free, you come right to me, and I have a whole Flickr.
There you go.
There you go. So I'm just trying. It's all about the hustle.
There it is. You got to hustle and you got to work. Every overnight success took at least 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the current things I'm doing, I'm not sure if you know about this, is a location-based app for the special needs community.
Okay.
So we're taking people who are, have issues. I mean, I don't want to say issues, but have special needs, like handicapped, autistic, whatever. And I'm still learning the vocabulary. Because the founder of the company actually has a daughter who's on the spectrum, but he's neurotypical. Mm-hmm. I mean, normal, which is not the right word because it's not normal. No one's normal. We're not normal. But I'm
not normal.
So the idea is to take them and pair them up with restaurants that will fit their profile, will fit them, hopefully to a T. Mm-hmm. And so we're building this out with a big algorithm. It's in Ruby on Rails and WordPress, which is a weird marriage of two different systems. Yeah. The app is in Ruby on Rails, and the blog and stuff is in and you're getting lots of props just for your wife beater. People love you, buddy. Look at that. You're getting the props. You're getting 14 props.
No,
I only got 3. Come on, people.
That's Marcus. Marcus is learning English. Marcus and I actually met yesterday. Marcus, I'm going to give you a good little shout out. Daddy Mojo actually had a question in the comments. I don't know if you had addressed it or not. He was talking about podcasting and done 6 episodes. Mentioned network. It's an actual source.
My podcast is that there another way of referring to your cast? I call it a network. The only reason, Danny, why I call it a network is because I have a bunch of different shows. I don't just have one podcast. I have Social Media Addicts. I have the interview show. I have Screencast Sessions, which I haven't done one in a while. I'm formulating another one called the Intergalactic Mobile OS Podcast. It's impossible to say. IG Mop is what we're going to call it. It's going to be essentially a little bit more scripted, a little bit more edited, a little bit tighter than normal podcasts. Me and Howard Yermish, H. Yermish on Twitter, are going to put that together. He's an iOS guy, I'm an Android guy, and we're going to do screencasts and talk about one topic per episode and have a screencast or something. So it should be interesting if we ever get around to doing it. It's it's one of those things. Like I'm on Patreon. I get like 18 by a wife. Patreon.com/PhillyTechOrg if you want to give a little money here and there. But it's not a moneymaker. It isn't. Some people have made it their living and they do it. There we go. We got
some little props. Let's give them some props.
Give me some props. Woo! And that along with the lines we are thinking about, ours will go. It's our niche. This is what Daddy Mojo is saying. It's one niche topic now. All age comic books, and we'll blend in parenting toys. Oh, I love that. Daddy Mojo. What did you say his name was?
I think it's. I didn't look at it. It's just Daddy Mojo is what I say.
Daddy Mojo. But Daddy Mojo, let me know when that's live, so I will subscribe. That's something I think is a great topic to have, and I even want to talk to you about putting it on our network as well. Like I said, it's just one of those things that I like to bring other people on. I like to make it so that it used to be Philly centric, Philly Tech Org. So the whole idea is geek from City Brotherly Love, and I have a nutrition podcast. I figure us geeks are all chubby, so it's like we need to kind of slim down. Not making assumptions, Dave. I'm just saying, but we all have to, slim down. So, Dave, you do podcasting at all, other than like Blab, or?
I've done podcasting. I've helped others. I've been on episodes. I want to do my own podcast. I have all the tools. I have all the setup. Of course, for everything that I do with video and editing and audio. I mean, I've got the mic set up and all that type of stuff. And I've even got the software and the hosting service and the ability to, put it up on iTunes and all this type of stuff and streamline, and just haven't done it yet. It's there on my list. It's just not very high priority. And the reason it's not for me is just because I treat when I get into something, I want to give the due focus that it deserves, because I want to bring an audience to it. But I also understand that just like any platform that we encounter today, it's going to have its own audience. It's kind of like, people saying, well, I don't like, I like Facebook, I don't like Twitter.
Yeah,
well, it's not that you should necessarily ignore.
Exactly, yeah.
So what?
I like Apple, I don't like Android, or I like Android, I don't like Apple. Yeah, everyone likes to take sides and stuff.
Well, no, it's more like, okay, so let's take Periscope and Meerkat as a couple of examples, and Blab. There's people that are Periscope and they love Periscope, and they've got a decent following or followers on Periscope. And when I talk to them about, have you ever tried Meerkat? And I'm like, well, no, there's no need for me to be there. I'm on Periscope. That's where everybody's at. And I'm like, well, I understand, but you also need to understand that you could be abandoning.
Be aware of it, yeah.
Well, you could be ignoring a whole different audience. It's kind of like sitting there saying, well, I'm on Facebook, so there's no need for me to do Instagram. It's two different you can have the same subject topic that you want to do, but you can curtail the message to each audience to pertain to each audience. And so podcasting is the exact same way. It's a way to it's just a different audience. It's a different platform. And I want to make sure when I start that up, I've got the amount of time and effort and energy to be able to dedicate to it, because it is going to be something new. But I want to be able to bring other people in, but it's also, like I say, it's a whole new audience. So
absolutely,
make sure.
Absolutely.
It's at iTunes now. We're getting the hang of making sure. Well, you know what? I'm going to sit there and say, why don't you post us the link, Trey?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do a little self-promotion. I'll give you permission. I'm just a guest, but I'll give you permission. Do a little self-promotion.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I'll even shrink it for you and post it in the chat. I can open my shortener. I make URL shorteners. So I have SOCL.bz is one of my shorteners. If you give me the link in the chat, I'll post it in, and you'll have a nice little short.
There you go.
Marcos is on. There we go. Let's see. And then now is this on other things, even RSS feed too, Trey? Even RSS feed as well. Let me get back to the Blab. Here's your. Yep. One moment. That's the short URL for that. SOCL.bz/8x lowercase. There we go. Awesome, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, it's very quick to make these short URLs with YOURLS.org. URLs is a great, self-hosted URL shortener that I use all the time for clients. You can self-brand it and redirect the front part to your own site. That's before Bitly, and the short URLs.
Yeah.
Like he sees, SSCL.bz/8x. You would never get anything like that on Bitly. It's like, that's big and huge. Mm-hmm. So I love when I start a new one, and I have like 6 or 7 of these. It's like, stop making URL shorteners. Seriously, stop making URL shorteners. It's bad. So, but
the only thing I don't like about URL shorteners is the ease and ability to use them. So, Bitly is an obvious choice for a lot of people just because it's been around for a while. But you can either take the default that Bitly gives you, or you can try and customize it a little bit, and that takes a little bit of effort. So it can always run. I'm the type of person I help teach. We're often the biggest reason that we get in our own way. We constipate the situation and we stop it up and we don't make any forward progress. And so things like trying to customize a Bitly URL can do that, because you're sitting there hunting around and Bitly's always saying you, sorry, that one's already used. Sorry, that one's already used.
Another thing. Whereas this one, you need to think your own. Only problem, I'm going to warn you people about this, is if you make a URL shortener and you get the domain name for it, you better damn well be renewing that every year, because I have 5 or 6 of them, and it's like, oh my God. And I have i-y.co. I just thought it was a cool domain name. I made it into URL shortener. Now I'm stuck buying this stupid domain name all the time. I have sh shortened with the XYZ, which is, I thought was a funny little domain name shortener. I don't use that much anymore. And oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't want it anymore. And there's all these links out on the web somewhere that, will break if I don't renew it. So, but I think I canceled that one. I was like, look, 2 is enough. One, I have actually 3. I have s3th.me. I have gmwd.us, which I've had forever. And that's actually my email address too. If you're smart enough, it's seth@gmwd.us is my personal email address. So everyone spam me. No, I have like 5 or 6 email addresses. So, and then I have socl.bz, which is social biz, which I like. I like that one. That one's a fun one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hey Trey, do you have the RSS feed instead? So for people who are on Android that don't have iTunes, can listen to it. What's the URL that's shortened? What is the URL that's shortened? Can you pop it in the chat window, please? So you go .org. You have to run. It's PHP MySQL, and it needs to be run. Sorry, someone's asked me to post the link to the URL shortener. It's my PHP MySQL. It does take a little bit of hacking to get it up and running. So. But it's worth it. And also, if anyone needs help, I only charge $100 to set it up. So if anyone needs some help setting it up, get a domain name. You do need hosting, and you do need a domain name.
Hey, Trey or Daddy Mojo, whichever you want to be called. So if you're looking for a little bit of advice, on your podcast that you're hosting there in iTunes, the first thing I'm going to say is change your avatar, your image. It's completely unrelational to what it's not associative. And so you want, because when we're going through iTunes, when we're seeing those types of things, and go through and look and to get ideas, that's what I teach other people to do, is like, let's just go look at what other people are doing and see and get some ideas from there. But, if you're doing something, comic books, I would have something related, something in there. So that would be my first thing, and I guarantee that will probably get you a lot more organic exposure inside iTunes.
I like the avatar, but I think if you're talking about, I would say move Daddy Mojo up a little bit if that's your brand, Daddy Mojo, and then put in like a subheading in the avatar. Like talking comic books, something below it that has something that says what the show is about. Because other Daddy Mojo, I'm like, I don't know what I'm subscribing for.
Yeah,
I subscribed and I'll listen and I'll give you a critique and all that. But also check out Pocket Casts. I use Pocket Casts with Shifty Jelly all the time, and they're very good at sharing the love and whatnot as well. So. Well, Dave, I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop off. I'm going to get back to this, but thanks a lot.
Awesome. I'll catch you around. Stay in touch. I put you in a bunch of lists on Twitter so I can make sure I see you. Awesome. So anyone else want to pop in and say hello? I just closed it down. I don't really want one person in at a time, but we'd love to know what you think. Hey, Daddy Mojo, why don't you just hop in and tell us a little bit more? Anything? Anyone going once, going twice? It's kind of cool. It's my first Blab where I actually have a nice amount of people in here watching it. So I could do a little dance. Woo! Okay, everyone leaves. Thanks, Grand Tips. I'm glad I could be helpful, guys. This has been Seth. Check out phillytech.org. Listen to the shows on there. They're a little rough. They're a little fun. They're a little bouncing around. They're not really high. I wouldn't say that they aren't high quality. I think they're great quality. But they're very much, unscripted and fun. So check them out. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off right now. Everyone have a wonderful day. How do I sign off?